Welcome to CATtheMinion YouTube channel. My name is Teresa, but you can call me Cat. This is an elemental focal reading for air energy. This is going to be from November 7th through December 6th. So we're dealing with the planets Mercury and Venus and Uranus. If you're watching or cross-watching for astrology / horoscopes, we've got Gemini, we've got Libra, and we've got Aquarius. Alright, so I checked to see where everything's going to be from this time period. I feel like my light is flickering. So the main thing is we've gone past October, where we had 4 retrograde planets going direct. And we've got between November 7th and December 6th, we're looking at this energy here. And I think in December, in total, there's a couple. In December, Venus is going retrograde, but not till the end of the month. And Neptune is going direct on the 1st of December. And then when Venus goes retrograde, Chiron goes direct, so they're sort of switching places a little bit. I think that's it. North Node is still going to be retrograde. So the stuff's balancing out more. But I don't think any of that's going to be affecting this time period yet. What we do have is on the 7th and 8th of November, when the moon is in Sagittarius and then in Capricorn, we have a callback at the end of this time period from late in the 3rd through the 6th, with the moon gonna be wow, I can't even say that right. The moon is going to be in Sagittarius and Capricorn again at the beginning and at the end of this time period. So we have a new moon. I think it's on the 4th of December. It might be on the 3rd, but I think it's on the 4th. I kind of failed when I took those notes down, but there's a solar eclipse on that day. On the 4th of December, solar eclipse. And this callback with the moon and the eclipse is coming after this full moon in Taurus on the 19th of November, which is really going to be kicking up a lot of energy with Uranus retrograding through Taurus. That's Aquarius energy. So there's like this huge event, like kind of in the middle. And then we come back to the moon in the same signs later and saying, okay, what did you learn? But it's going to be a new moon and a solar eclipse, like right after this full moon. It's like, it's like slamming a book down after you finished your final exam. Now, on top of this, because there's a little bit of the Capricorn energy callback, but we're really looking at this Sagittarius energy. We have the moon. No, not the moon. God damn it, I can't talk. We have the sun in... Why can't I do this right? The sun and Mercury in Sagittarius from 11/24 through 12/6. And that's after Mercury and Mars and the Sun are hanging out together in Scorpio from the 7th through the 21st. And I feel like that scorpionic energy isn't really that important for air signs, but it's just the moon and Mercury and the sun are are three masculine aspects. I mean, the moon can also, Mercury can also rule Virgo, which is a feminine energy. But I usually think of Mercury as like youthful masculine. I almost said man, a youthful masculine. And the sun is Leo energy, which is also masculine. And then Mars is, I think Mercury also, is that the one that rules the... Yeah, Mercury rules the magician, which is like a wizard energy. But the sun could be like a more youthful energy, like the little kid riding on the pony in the sun card. And then the emperor is that Mars energy. So it's like the masculine energy is getting dunked into an ego death cycle earlier on in here. But then we've got this huge like Sagittarian energy. So it's like water and fire. It's like the masculine energy is being tempered, but it also comes out as water and fire together. It comes out as judgment. And again, judgment is exactly the same energy as closing the book on a chapter that you've finished. So that's sort of the name of the game here, even though we're dealing with air energies. And if you're looking at Gemini energy specifically, we've got the North Node in Gemini and Lilith in Gemini. And then the moon is over in Gemini on the 20th and 21st, right after that full moon. And it's this sort of... I was looking at this before I went to record, and that energy, that air energy in Gemini right after the full moon, with Uranus hanging out where the full moon is happening, this Aquarian energy, the day after we get this Gemini energy, and it's like it's like the, what did I say it was like? It was like like this all over the world kind of thing where this energy is illuminating this healing and like cracking an egg open and releasing a pressure on these sort of like fears and traumas and like the ego holding you back from gaining anything, right? Like a sabotage ego, like a stuck in the sadness kind of energy. And then we have Libra energy here. We have Venus energy. Now, Venus is in Capricorn, but right before this started, Mercury and Venus were moving on the same day, on the 5th, when the new moon happened before this reading started, right? The new moon on November 4th. So it's almost not relevant. It's like, what's the Libra energy doing? You know, it doesn't seem to be doing much. It's just kind of sitting there. But it's like Libra energy is kind of on the down low. There was stuff going on like right before this, and there's going to be stuff going on later in December. So it's sort of like Libra is they're having a turn out, right? They roll the dice, they lose a turn, they're sitting out a turn. And we have a little bit going on in Gemini here. There's this releasing energy, but most of it's coming through this Aquarius full moon that's somehow tied to Sagittarian energy. Although that makes sense because Jupiter and Saturn are both in Aquarius. Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn, which is where Venus is sitting. So it's sort of dragging the other two with it. All right, so that's a lot of whatever. I'm going to get this spread going. So I'm doing a 9 grid. Usually I do it with Lenormand cards. I've got the Sirian Starseed Tarot, which is not going to fit on the table probably, even after I've trimmed the deck. And then for a topic card, I've got this Mystical Shaman Oracle. I'm having a hard time with the putting the thoughts through my mouth to speak them. But we're gonna do this anyway. I did clear this and shuffle this already, but I gotta get it a little bit more on camera. So we're dealing with air energy from November 7th through December 6th. These are kind of too big to shuffle out, and my hands are tired from typing a lot. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Come on. 9. Okay. And one of these dudes right here. I did clear and shuffle this one already too. We could get it a little bit more. This is a Hay House deck, so they're a little bit thicker, so they don't slide together quite as smoothly, but that's alright. They're sturdy and they're going to last a long time. On top of not being able to convey thoughts very well in speech, I'm having a hard time with physical objects right now as well. So I'm just going to have to deal with it. Encapsulation. Worry too much about how these are placed. Hopefully that'll be mostly in screen. Apparently there's a can playing in my head right now. Can you can? Okay. Could kind of see them. I should move them this way. I'm gonna move them this way so I'm gonna make sure my clothing situation was alright if I leaned too far into the camera. Okay. Okay. So, Mystical Shaman Oracle, we have 39, the Owl. So we're thinking about wisdom. Now, I already talked about the Judgment card. In my music deck, Judgment is a song called Wisdom. This is about wisdom being, it's like you don't really know until you've lived through it, right? You can be told how to bake a cake, you can watch the instructions, you can have somebody yelling at you to, go find the tools, but unless you actually do the procedure yourself, make the cake yourself, put the car together yourself, you're not gonna have that wisdom. It's like it's sort of like knowledge is like knowing stuff, but wisdom is knowing how to apply it. The owl also indicates like spiritual downloads, information from your guides, your ancestors, your higher self, extraterrestrials, extra dimensionals, the angels, whoever. We also see there could be a connection to the history of the Earth, because if you think of owl, you think of birds. They're what's left of the dinosaurs. They were, you know, cultivating experience on the Earth for, you know, 135 million years or something like that. You know, I mean, I'm not counting all of the Permian or like. So, we've got a deeply layered fount of information, whether it's learned experience or sort of great spontaneous knowledge, right? Where it's like, I need to know something right now. I don't know, I don't know how to do it until I'm doing it, right? It's like, I pulled this information out of my ass in the heat of the moment. It's kind of like the information version of using adrenaline to lift a car off of somebody in an accident. And it's like, how did you know that? Like, I just pulled it out of the ether. It popped out of the Akashic record into my face. So we have number 39, which breaks down to 12, which makes me think of the ticking of a clock. But it could also be the Hanged Man, which is waiting for knowledge to come down, and then that breaks down further again to 3, because any 9 added to any number makes it that same number again. So we're coming back to this Empress energy. Venus energy, which I did talk about. Because Venus rules Libra, Venus rules Virgo. There's this idea of balancing childhood, this sort of naive, carefree, with information. There's this like wisdom in understanding situations without being jaded by them. Because being reactionary is not really mature either. This is sort of like, I'm becoming the wizard, that mercurial energy. Through Uranus energy, consciousness, the Fool. I'm leaping into the unknown by drawing on what is. Okay? That was a lot for that card. I think I might finally be getting the hang of this shaman deck after a couple years. Okay, I made a new segment because I was running out on that one. My camera does 20 minutes at a time. Alright, so I'm going to flip these cards over. And I'm going to hold them up to the camera because they're kind of be blurry down here. And then I'll try to like focus it at least onto one of them. So we're dealing with the processing of knowledge, basically, with this reading. And that's sort of what I was talking about. You think of judgment as like the final exam, right? You like, oh, I passed. I could take something else next semester. You know, I don't have to repeat the lessons in this lifetime anymore. You know, I finally figured it out. I like starting in the middle this time. I'm going to do that again. So we have the 9 of Flames, the 9 of Wands, which is creased, inverted, Sagittarian energy, right? The Moon in Sagittarius, which is something that I had talked about. But this energy is inverted, which might bring on Sun energy, which I was talking about, the masculine. The Sun in Sagittarius starting on 11/22. So we're looking at before the Sun moves into Sagittarius. We've got that masculine overhaul in Scorpio, where those 3 masculine aspects are hanging out. This fire energy coming through. So we have the Seeker of Crystals. This is the Page of Pentacles. Right, I'm trying to like manifest something. I'm trying to tap into that abundant quality of the Venus energy. And we see Venus going into Capricorn, or is she in Capricorn the whole time? Yeah, she's in Capricorn the whole time of this reading. So it's like I'm testing the waters of going from Libra, a more balanced way of thinking, right, where I've got the wisdom and I'm more mature. I've learned the magic, right? I've become the magician. And now I'm going to try to funnel that thought, that Libra balancing of the experience and the information, and I'm going to try to manifest it with this feminine, creative, nurturing energy. So then we have the Seeker of Chalices. So this is the Page of Cups. It's sort of like I'm feeling what the right knowledge is, right? It's like I'm not using my brain to read books. I'm pulling the information as I need it out of the files, the gray matter in my brain and the files in the Akashic record. But you sort of have to go inwards through yourself, through the heart chakra, to get to the Akashic record. It's like, I don't know what this is, but I feel it. So we have this, I'm trying to manifest, but I'm trying to nurture it, emotionally creative, and I'm trying to be resonant, emotionally compatible with what I'm doing, right? I'm not gonna like work corporate while my soul dies. If you work corporate, you need to be in line emotionally with that. And that's not really the case, but this is sort of any of those kinds of things. So then we have the Seven of Crystals. This is another manifestational card. Is that Taurus? The moon in Taurus? No, that's the 6th. This is Saturn in Taurus. Okay. So we have Taurus, which is where Uranus is. And then we have Saturn, the ruler of Capricorn, which is where Venus is. And we've got this manifestational energy. This is sort of waiting for the crops to come in, right? I've just started. I'm taking my time. I'm baby steps. If this was inverted, it would be impatience. But this is I'm moving. I'm moving with the energy. I'm manifesting things in time. I'm letting things grow and unfold at a pace where the energy is balanced, right? It's like a flower unfolding. Oh, come on. Freaking break here. Ruined the great surprise. So we're talking about something that's expanding at a natural pace so that it's balanced when it's opening up. Incidentally, I've got a set of these for sale in my Etsy shop. It's a rainbow chakra set, and they're the 4-inch. This one's a 6-inch. I'm gonna make some more of them. I got a whole stack of foam over there. It's just, so many things and only one me. I've been sick more often than not lately, but hopefully, I think that's going to change soon according to my information. And that's not really in focus anymore. 9 of Chalices over here. Okay, so this is interesting. I've got a 9 here, I've got Chalices here, and I've got Pentacles here, and then I've got fire right in the middle where the solar center should be, where that sun energy was getting baked in with the other masculine energies. 9 of Cups is emotional contentment. It's it's not full emotional contentment. 10 of Cups is like, oh, but this is like, I'm feeling pretty good. Like this is working out for me. Like feeling pretty chipper. It's also almost a completion. This is like my dreams are starting to come true. Like I'm getting a little bit excited. The Sage of Orbs. This is the Queen of Swords. And it's a little bit weird that she's inverted, but let me see what her energies are. Oops. Make sure I'm picking up the right sheet of stuff over here. Queen of Swords, Virgo and Libra energy. So this is that immaturity that I was talking about. The reason why this masculine energy had to come into the center and go sort of through the dunk tank in that scorpionic energy, because there's this is sort of the off with our heads vibe, this reactionary patriarchal type of energy where it's not in flow. It's sort of more of like a do as I say, not as I do, but also that sort of soulless type of corporate energy that I was talking about. This is like an immaturity, but like mentally acute immaturity, like manipulation. Let's put it that way. The Master of Flames inverted. So this is the King of Wands. This is that fire energy again, and here we have the King energy, the masculine. So this is dictatorial, and it's like a dragon just torching the whole city. Like, I can't. So we have 9, we have 13, which is a death cycle, ego death. And then we have, this is a low vibration of the Hermit, which is that Virgo energy. I'm sitting in my lowest of energies, like the most dark energies, like it's low vibe to be shitty to other people. So I need to stay in the minor arcana to have this maturity. I have to meet these on their own level and fight them, right? I can't fight the basement dragon if I'm up in the tower. I have to go down into the basement. And we see here this Master of Flames, 14 inverted is 5, which is a shift or a pivot. But we're dealing with, again, an immaturity here, a maliciousness. King of Wands is Cancer and Leo energy. It's sort of like an eclipse. The sun and the moon. What is the moon in Leo? On November 25th and 26th. So we're looking at Thanksgiving week here for this. It could be, I mean, in America, this definitely could be like a heated family argument during a holiday get-together. But we're looking at something that's more on like the grand scale, right? It's not like one incident in particular. It's like I'm changing my whole life, but that could be something that changes things altogether. But it's like on the level of a whole corporation, or I'm starting a new corporation. I am changing my work field. I've learned all I can learn from this bad behavior in my family, and I'm going to be doing something else. I'm going to be growing something, manifesting something more balanced and heart-centered in the future. So we have transition. This is 13 again. This is a death cycle. This is, I mean, it could be like going into the afterlife, but this ego death thing, it's like You don't necessarily kill off the ego because you still need it to survive in the meat space. You transmute, you heal it, you unify the masculine and the feminine aspects of the ego and your inner self and your inner child. And you sort of transform your life in that way. Now, Venus is going to be in Capricorn, and Capricorn is also where Pluto is sitting, which is that scorpionic energy that the masculine was in. And this is sort of the gateway between Sun in Scorpio and Sun in Sagittarius. It's like a phoenix rising from your own ashes, or like a cleansing by fire, trial by fire. It's like going into another dimension, right? It's like Ebenezer Scrooge kind of moment. I mean, we're almost at Christmas here, but think about that, like the ghosts of Christmas past, the ghost of Christmas future, the ghost of Christmas present, or whoever the other freaking guy was. It's the ancestors or some aliens or the angels might haul this person out of body after they flip out at like half their family and be like, listen here, buddy, like you're gonna have a hell of a time at your life review if you don't start changing your shit right now, because we're in this place. In my family, 3 out of 4 of my grandparents spent many years in a facility before they died where they were basically incapacitated. And it's sort of like, it sucks for them to have to stay in their physical bodies and be like inept because they have to sit there and work through their emotional stuff and their problems and the shit that they, raked in the karma for, because they're not allowed to have a do-over. You can't, like, you spent all your quarters in the pinball machine and it's game over. You don't get to go again. You have to, cash out your chips and leave the casino or whatever the hell. It's like, go get whatever crap they have in the gift shop with the tickets that you have and get the hell out of it. Like, you only get what you've got. It's like, like it used to be, you die and you go through your life review and you're like, oh man, I really fucked this up. And then you'd have to go and do it again. And then if you still messed up, it's like, oh, now I gotta go again. But this is like, you don't get to die and do it again like 800 times. You gotta sit there and deal with your crap now because the transition is happening in the meat space. You have to have this, you have to seek emotional balance and balance in the physical world now. You don't get to go past go and collect $200 and go around the board again. You got to pay up at Park Place, and this is what's going on here. This is what this transition is doing. So then we have another 9 here. The 9 of Orbs. The 9 of Swords is anxiety, nightmares, trauma. But this is inverted. This is, I'm being let go of it. What is the energy on that too? 9 of Swords. Mars in Gemini. Huh. Mars in Gemini. Mars. I was talking about the Gemini energy. I was talking about Mars energy, but not together. This is like I was going to say this is the last piece in the puzzle. It's also the last card that I turned over. It's like this is the bottleneck. Is in order to release the karma that's gonna, the grief case, the crap that's holding you back from moving on to your next mission, closing that judgment book and passing your class instead of failing it this time, is to move out of this, like, gotta win, gotta win, gotta win, gotta hold the line, gotta win kind of energy. And this is like, no, you're not holding this line anymore. If you want to stop having these nightmares and get some kind of emotional fulfillment with what you're doing with your lives, plural, and able to manifest something in a way that's in balance, you want to be co-creating with the universe and knowing what time it is. It's like that, there is a season, turn, that actually I think originally comes from Ecclesiastes, but it's that bird song that was, I think Bob Dylan wrote it. It's sort of like the farmer's almanac. There's a time to plant, there's a time to harvest, there's a time to water, there's a time to reap and sow and all that crap. And this is like being in rhythm with the natural timing and cycles of things. You want to hit it when you're going to get like a little extra bounce back so you can roll further. You don't want to hit it when it's off and have it go sideways. So this is what's going on here. It's a karmic overhaul, and that could be for corporate, it could be for somebody in a family, it could be for what you're doing in your work. But all this is really about is knowledge, right? Wisdom. What's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again. You don't need 20,000, like, you don't need 400 lives to keep doing the same stupid shit. Perpetuating a family curse because you don't want to do the work. Do you want to leave this mess for your descendants? Because you might come around again and be one of them, have to deal with the same problem, or you're going to be somebody else and deal with the same problem. The wisdom is to say, hey, what if I didn't do that same exact thing again just because I have a different body? It's like it doesn't do you any good to have 40 lives as playing Mario if you're going to die in the same spot every time. It's like you don't get to, it's like you don't get to use the Konami code, you don't get to have 40 more lives. You have, you've practiced enough. If you were more in rhythm with the timing, you would have made that jump. You wouldn't have gotten your head chopped off by the little flamethrower thing. You would have gotten through and beat the level, and then you wouldn't have to do it anymore, right? So this is about karma. It's about wisdom. It's about trusting your instincts to have the right knowledge at the right time instead of staying in these fixed patterns. Just because they're familiar doesn't mean they're comfortable. 8 lives of the same crap. Well, how do you feel now? Well, I don't actually feel good, but I'm going to keep doing this because everyone else can suck it. But it's like, no, you have to transition now, like while you're alive. You don't get to transition out and then come back in and do a continue. You have to learn it now. You have to upgrade now. You have to, you have to. It's like you have to wait for 4 hours for your computer to update. Well, what's updating is you at this point, and being able to understand why that's happening will help you understand that you need to deal with your crap and be a little bit more childlike about it, experience new emotional growth and new manifestation as kind of wonderment. You know, like, wow, this is, like, I didn't think it was going to happen like this. This isn't, like, I could, you know, like, I feel like I'm growing. Now I feel like I'm being mushed. And that's the name of the game here. Information. Information processing, karmic debt due. Like, in order to not be in your own, in a physical prison, you have to stop, like, hoarding, like, mental garbage. Basically, but we're dealing with air energy here, so this is all really happening. I mean, there's some manifestation, but there's changes to the physical world when you make these energetic changes. This is all kind of a mental process, but it's affecting other things, mental, emotional process. But we're both mostly wisdom. We have an air elemental here. All right. So if you want to get any more information, you can get a personal reading. I do have a complete list of readings that I offer and how much they cost in the description box down below, including this 9-grid reading, which is usually with Lenormand cards. You can request a deck if you know that I have one. If you don't know what decks I have, you can check out my deck review playlist. Otherwise, I pick the cards based on which ones jump at me, basically pulling the information out of my ass, out of thin air for what is needed. So those readings are listed down below. There's a playlist with samples, and you can email me to get a reading. It's PayPal, Cash App, or Venmo to pay for readings, or if you want a energy exchange, tip jar, donation, if you found this useful, it's also those. I've got coloring books, dark poetry, merch, and prints and actual art items over here. If you go on Etsy and you get something like this, or the set, or the couple plushies, or drawings, paintings, whatever that I've got over there, coupon code 3star17, you'll get 17% off. All of this stuff here, sales, contact, social media, is through my link tree. That's linktr.ee/CATtheMinion. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment. Check out my playlists tab, my discussion tab, and stay groovy, and we'll see you later. Bye.